Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the first decan of Pisces, which is between 0 to 9.59 degrees. 59, of course, represents minutes of arc. The second decan technically begins at 10 degrees of Pisces. Now, first off, well, the rulers are Jupiter and Neptune, and then you have the sub-ruler being Jupiter, Neptune. Yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant, but this decan naturally can give very emphasized and accentuated Pisces energy. In terms of the appearance, though, the appearance could be between, often can be middle stature too tall. The face could be very heavy. Um, the person, can also, looking at this, I mean, some of you may remember, the iconic actor, Jackie Gleason, had his son, in this interval. We had, I forget the degree, it was somewhere near 8 degrees, 8 or 9 degrees, somewhere around there, I think. And he had a very big, visage to say the least. And he, when you look at this, the person can be very, having, double dose essentially Pisces energy. Person can be very exceptionally idealistic, but yet nebulous, compassionate, forgiving, gullible, and passive. And this is also someone that might have very strong, intuitive prowess and ability. There may be, person may often pursue something, Pisces related, which can include, dancing, poetry, photography, chemistry, anesthesiology, or the metaphysical, which includes astrology, with a lot of idealism and being very inspired to do that. And going back to, legendary actor Jackie Gleason had his son, again in this interval, the Pisces can have a connection with film, and he wanted to be, the best he could be, and he was obviously very, had a lot of inspiration to be a very good, if not great, actor. And also, too, looking at this, I would say, as well, the person, may be very averse to being, abrasive, or just being simply overly forceful to attain what is needed, what they need to get. Um, this is a person that could often have a very docile and gentle approach to things. There may be, though, unfortunately, greater propensity for drugs and alcohol than the other Pisces decans, because again, you're getting pretty much, double dose of Pisces energy. Pisces is the zodiac sign connected with drugs and alcohol, and it's not to say that, everybody that has, the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in this decan of Pisces is going to have, some issues with that, but there is a little greater potential for that with this decan than, just a lot of placements in astrology and compared to the other two Pisces decans. Keep in mind, you have the ruler, Pisces rulers, I should say, Jupiter and Neptune. And I believe what this does is that, Neptune is the planet connected with drugs and alcohol, and Jupiter can enlarge things, it can expand, and sometimes it exacerbate. I think that when you have the Neptune Jupiter rulership, that could expand the drug usage. And you're talking about, the rulers being Jupiter and Neptune, but then the sub rulers Jupiter and Neptune as well. Now, another thing is that this could, I'd say this is the most adaptable of the Pisces decans, because you have in the first decan, you have, Pisces being the sign. This is also the Pisces decan, and Pisces is a mutable sign. The other decans are for Pisces, of course, are Cancer and Scorpio, which naturally are not mutable signs. Cancer is a cardinal sign, Scorpio is a fixed sign. This decan would be the most pliable and adaptable of all three decans of Pisces. Now, this person can also be, very impressionable. So it's a very environmental type, decans. Person really needs to guard against. It could be mimicking behavior from others, especially when it's negative behavior, and it could be to one's detriment. And the thing is, this could be, um, I would say, could be a greater, really propensity on the positive side, proclivity to rescue those that are less fortunate. Whether it could be, the oppressed, the impoverished, the homeless, and the hungry. But at the same time, it may also very well be that this deacon has the greatest, escapist tendencies on average compared to the other two Pisces deacons. Pisces is the sign, connected with isolation, solitude, seclusion, but also, escaping. And they can be escapists from life. And, the thing about this is, it's also, as I've stated in previous videos, just to, make sure you're looking at the chart as the whole, because there are, there's likely going to be, contraindicators, modifying influences about in this. And now, if you have, Pisces can be very, introverted and submissive and often very timid and passive. But let's say, you have the sun in this Pisces deacon, right? And let's say you have, a much stronger ascendant. You have like a Leo or Scorpio ascendant. You're going to come across, much stronger, strong-willed, compared, to the, typical Pisces sun, in this deacon, and just Pisces in general. So it's really, and let's say if you have Mars conjunct the ascendant, or even conjunct the sun, you may come across, you may be, as a person, just in general, more aggressive and assertive than the typical Pisces that has this deacon. So it's important, to look at the chart as a whole. And as I stated in my earlier videos, that to never isolate, any one, like a placement, position, aspect, what have you, and make a whole analysis on the person based on that one proponent alone, because we're the sum of all the components in our chart and not just one. Now, the thing about this too is that, this is a, Pisces, first deacon, again, could be very passive and submissive. It's not known to be, an overly, aggressive or assertive, position. I talked before about, for, looking at contraindicators and modifying influences in the chart naturally. Now, this could be somebody that is, really very much, to themselves, about isolation, solitude and seclusion. There may be a strong interest, like in fantasy, whether it could be, fantasy games like Dungeons and Dragons, or playing games on the computer, that have the fantasy element to it. This could be somebody that likes, things that are, like, for example, hypothetical, sports matchups, like playing, teams from the past against each other. Like playing, for example, in baseball, the 1975 Reds versus the 1927 New York Yankees. It's a person that likes to often, I would say, get into their own world, because, for Pisces, often, especially the first deacon, their own world can exceed the real world at times, and it's a little happier, might be a happier place. So in Pisces, really will often retreat, from the harshness of the outside world, and may, devote as much time if they're able to, in isolation and by themselves. And this could be a person that can be very enamored, just Pisces-related things in general, whether it's meditation, spirituality, poetry, dancing, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, illusions such as performing magic tricks, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.